Alright, guys, it is Moon Galaxy. This is part 2 of Forbidden Love, Viggo Grimborn, ex-listener. Oh my god. I woke up and looked around. I slowly got to my feet and put my weapons around me. I had a few claw marks on my shoulder. I stumbled to walk, but I managed. I walked to mine and Hiccup's meeting place. I sat down leaning on a tree. I took out my journal and started drawing the dragon. I put it down to put pressure on the claw marks. After a few minutes, they quit bleeding. I picked up my journal and continued drawing. I wrote what he looked like, his features, his scale color, his 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 eye color, how long his wings looked, the teeth, etc. I felt someone ruffle my hair and I knew it was Hiccup. Any luck? I ask. He sits down next to me. Yeah? You? Good. I possibly lost some of my hearing, but fine other than that. I said. How? I found the dragon, and it was whatever dragon class you want. Me, preferably, is a razor whip. The one Heather has. He pinned me down and roared in my face, I said, shrugging and continued drawing. Hours passed and it was sunset. I closed my book and Hiccup did the same. We walked in silence. I opened the door quietly. We stepped lightly and went up the stairs. We didn't get far before kids. Me and Hiccup froze. Dad got up and looked at us. Me and Hiccup stood up straight. We all started talking and at the same time and stopped. Looking at each other. You go first, Hiccup says. You two get y'all's wish. Dragon fighting, he says. Oh, we really should have gone first, I said, biting my fingernail. You see, we don't want to kill dragons, Hiccup says. But you will kill dragons, Dad says happily. He hands us an axe. Hiccup nearly fell while I didn't even move. Dad, we can't kill dragons, I said. You two will go to dragon fighting tomorrow morning. I'll be back in a few weeks, hopefully, Dad said, picking up baskets and walking out. We both sighed and dropped the axes. We headed up the stairs and flopped on our beds. We fell asleep soon after. Time skip. It's morning now. I woke up surprised by not hearing any yelling. I crawled out of bed and started looking at my drawings. This dragon was amazing. When I looked into his eyes, I saw myself. But whoever thought of training a dragon? That's the dumbest, most suicidal thought ever heard. I played with my pencil when I heard Hiccup get up and kiss the side of my head. I sighed and got up. We walked downstairs and grabbed the axes, then walked out. We walked to the arena and saw the kids from the other morning. Great! Snot Lout, Tough Nut, Rough Nut, Astrid, and Fish Legs. Well, Fish Legs isn't bad. He's smart and nice. He tries to reach the other standards, but he's too kind to do that. I've talked to him a few times, but that's it. Astrid, yeah, Hiccup's got a huge crush on her. But she's too, I don't know, kind of cocky with our saying anything. Oh, without her saying anything. Oh my god. Her body says, "Ooh, look at me. I'm so pretty and perfect. I'm the best dragon killer out there. I'm so tough." I rolled my eyes. Snot. Ugh, don't get me started. He's cockier than Astrid will ever be. He just thinks because his name is Jorgensen, makes him a cool Viking. He tries to act tough, but he's annoying and loud. Rough and tough, well, they're not bad, just pranksters, and can be annoying. They're funny, though. I was ripped out of my thoughts when Gobber started talking. Gobber. The recruit who does the best will do the honors of killing their first dragon. Hiccup already killed a Night Fury, so does that disqualify him or Yin? Yin, you. Well, at least he hit a dragon and wasn't doing a full-on exotic entrance by walking in front of fire, mocking noises. Ooh, look at me, I'm carrying buckets around and throwing them on fires. Anyone can do that. If you keep that up, some hands will be thrown. She gets my face. Others may be scared of you, but I'm not. You're just a regular Viking girl. She threw a hard hit. I ducked. I tackled her and we fell to the ground, hitting each other. Not catfighting, I mean full-on punches. Gobber pulled us apart and we both yelled, grabbing our axes, and was about to hit each other when Gobber took them from us. Love the energy, but keep it for the dragons, he says, patting our backs. We both glared at each other. As we walked away, I stood by Hiccup, and she stood by Tough Nut. We both continued glaring at each other, wiping the blood off my lips, and she did the same, but with her nose. You okay? Hiccup whispers. I'm fine. You have a big bruise on your cheek, he said. Mine and Astrid's eyes never left each other as we both glared. Well, look at your crush. She has one in her eye, I whisper back. They walked away and Gobber took both of us by the shoulder. Don't worry, you two are smaller. Y'all are smaller. So they'll see you as weak and go for the bigger Vikings. And by the way, Yin, that was some entertainment to watch. No one ever hits Astrid as she hit them, but you have to keep your head in the game. It's not fake. He says, and I nod. Gobber starts telling us names, and Fishlegs was mumbling things under his breath. Gobber stops at one cage. Would you stop that? And the grunkle, he says. Wait, don't you need to train us first? Tough asks. I believe learning on the go, he said, pulling the lever, and an angry grunkle flies out. We all scatter, running. Gobber. What is the first thing you need? Hiccup. A doctor. Fishlegs. +5 speed? You and Astrid. A shield. We say and glare at each other. Correct. We run to the shields and I grab on, hitting Astrid in the forehead. On purpose. Oops, my bad, I said sarcastically and grabbed my axe. We were running when Tough and Rough argued over a shield and got blasted and Gobber yelled, out. I ran beside my brother and remembered noise disoriented dragons. I started hitting my axe and my shield together, and everyone copied. Great thinking, Yin, Gobber yells. We stop after a minute and scattered. How many shots does a Gronkle have? Gobber shouts. Snotlout 5. Fishlegs, no, 6. Gobber, correct, Fishlegs, and you're out. We all scattered again, just 4 of us. Astrid rolled next to me and Hiccup when Snotlout got out. So just us? Hiccup asks. Nope, just you two, she says, hitting me with her shield. I pick up a rock and throw it at her, hitting her shoulder, making her drop the axe. I and Hiccup ran. I slipped on the wet stone, hitting my hip hard. Karma. Well, not really. Hiccup ran to me and dropped his shield, and it rolled. He took mine as he kneeled in front of me and used the shield for protection. We were against the wall when Gobber grabbed it by the mouth and barely missed us. He helped me up, and I had a I hate sneezing. Oh my god. He helped me up, and I had a hand on my hip in pain, but showing it in front of everyone. What? Okay. Remember, a dragon will always go for the kill, he says, looking at both of us. We walked out of the academy, and I walked with Hiccup. I just ignored the pain and didn't say a word. Why do you hate Astrid so much? He asks. I don't know. She seems a bit cocky, I guess. Someone had to show her her place, I said, and walked into the forest. I walked alone to a spot where I saw whatever oh my god, my neck hurts. I walked quietly and saw... What? Okay, what? I walked alone to a spot where I saw dragon class, whatever dragon you want. I'm gonna say Razor Whip because I'm getting tired of saying dragon class. I bent down and looked at the blood on the ground. So why didn't you? I asked myself. I hear distant roaring, and I held my axe. Not my weapon of choice, but it's what I had. I walked quietly and saw the Razor Whip again. The same dragon, and he was pinned down by a timberjack. He had claw marks on his beautiful scales. I took sticks and threw it at the timberjack. Come and get me, you overgrown lizard, I yelled, started running. I heard its wings beat, and I looked up to see him above me. I realized I was in a clearing, so I took a right and ran into the thick woods. I hear thumping of trees, and I look behind me to see the timberjack cutting through them with no sweat. I started taking twists and turns when I was pulled to the side with the Razor Whip holding me closely. He had his wings wrapped around us in the shade of the forest. I stayed quiet when I heard the timberjack leave. The Razor Whip picked me up by the hands and flew off. I would be lying to say I wasn't scared. I grabbed onto his paws and held on for dear life. He looked at me with confused eyes, then saw I was looking at how far up we were. He landed in the spot I found him first. I first found him in. I backed away towards the tree, saw him in. I saw him in weakness. I quickly bent down by him and picked up his wings. He growled at me and I flinched. "Don't worry, I'm here to help," I said and grabbed some water out of my satchel I had. I gave him the water, but before he drank it, he looked at me with suspicion. I nodded and took a sip to show him it wasn't bad. I poured the water into his open mouth and put some on a rag, then wiped the wound softly. After the wing, I started on his chest and stomach. Oh my god. And that is the end of part 2. I will see you guys next week. Please leave comments. It will always help. And remember to like and subscribe. Moongal XD out.